All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. Double honors to the Salakia. um, Salakia, do that again. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Your brother Rabbi Nat coming with you with a lesson. Lord's both edifying. Salakia, I'm all over the place, but I just want to let's just get into it, man. Um, I want to get in this X video. Slucky. I'm still trying to get used to this stream service. Share my screen. Okay, it says Trump unveils Golden Dome ambitious missile defense system. See what else is in the news. It says who adopts historic pandemic agreement? U.S. opts out. EU targets Russia's shadow fleet in latest sanctions push. Japan faces fiscal crisis surpassing Greece's debt woes. Iran's Khamenei rejects U.S. nuclear demands, deepening standoff. Now, we know Iran is the Persians in the Bible, okay, and they prophesied along with Russia to come up against America, okay. Matter of fact, what's that? Isaiah 21. Actually, they're also known as Elam in the Bible. Isaiah 21 and 2, a grievous vision is declared unto me, the treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously, and the spoiler spoileth. Go up, O Elam, besiege, O Media. And the Medes are talking about the modern day Russians. All the sign thereof have I made to see. So, that's talking about them coming up against Babylon. Okay, Persians and Medes, and that's who took down the first Babylon, or ancient Babylon. Okay, let me go back to Daniel. What's that? Daniel, the 5th chapter, I think it is. It says, and Darius the Median took the Daniel 5 and 31. It says, and Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. Okay, so Salakia, let me start up a little bit. When you read up, Daniel interprets the handwriting on the wall. Okay, he needed an interpretation. They're drinking, Belshazzar's having a feast. He's bringing his concubines and everybody. They're drinking out of the vessels that they stole out of the temple. They're not giving any glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And then a hand comes out of nowhere and starts writing on the wall. Okay, as a matter of fact, I want to grab that precept. Okay, Daniel 5 and 4. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. In the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the wall of the king's place. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees smote one against another. So he was scared to see that. That's a terrible sight. The hand comes out of nowhere and starts writing on the wall. Okay, so he starts grabbing people together to interpret the handwriting that's on the wall, and no one could do it except for Daniel. Okay, because it tells you in Amos 3 that his prophets, he revealeth his secrets to his servants, the prophets. Amos chapter 3 and verse 7 says, surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. When you see all caps like that, it goes into Yahweh. Okay. Now it says Jehovah, but when you interpret this, it's Yah-ha-wah-ha. Okay, Yahweh. Drop the A. Okay. not Jehovah. The letter J came, or Yehovah. Okay, that's not his name. It's not the name that was given to him in the book to Moses. Okay. Okay, so like here, let me so that's what he does. He shares his secrets with his servants, the prophets. Okay, Amos 3 and 7. And that's why Daniel was able to interpret the handwriting on the wall. Daniel 5 and 13. Then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake and said unto Daniel, Art thou that Daniel, which art of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Jewry? Because Daniel, when you read the, believe he was in exile. Okay. I have even heard of thee, that the spirit of the gods is in thee, and that light of in understanding, excellent wisdom is found in thee. So he's giving reverence to his gods, but there's only one God, which is Yahweh. Or there's multiple gods, but the Most High God, we understand through the he's the only God, man. There's no other gods with him. Now the Israelites are gods, but it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Okay. They fell from that glory, from being the sons of God, in the beginning. Okay. Daniel 5 and 15. And now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me, that they should read this writing and make known unto me the interpretation thereof, but they could not show the interpretation of the thing. So none of his astrologers, and this is going to happen with Esau again, they're not going to have the answers. Okay. Ultimately, it's going to be Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua ruining his kingdom, man. He's not going to have the answers that they brought. These astrologers and magicians are only going to bring him to so far, but then he's going to be ultimately, the Lord's going to destroy him. And I have heard of thee, that thou canst make interpretations and dissolve doubts. Now if thou canst read the writing and make known to me the interpretation thereof, thou shalt be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about thy neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Okay, so Belshazzar is telling Daniel, if you can tell me the handwriting that's written on the wall, I'll make you the third ruler in the kingdom. Okay, so this is why the Lord can exalt you, man. Okay, that wisdom is, hey, that's the principal thing, man. Okay, because he's in captivity, and now he's trying to be now. Here it is, Belshazzar saying, I'll make you the third ruler in the kingdom. Hey, the same thing happened with Joseph, so it don't matter what state you're in, it's all up to the Lord. Okay. Daniel 5 and 17. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, let thy gifts be to thyself, and give thy rewards to another. Yet I will read the writing unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. See, Daniel wasn't trying to be, great in this kingdom. He was more concerned about, serving the Lord, being righteous in his captivity. And we can learn a lot from Daniel. And a lot of other the prophets that's written in the book. Hebrews 11. This is a good precept with Moses. Verse 24. Well, there's a couple of good examples. Joseph's in here. Okay. Hebrews 11 and 23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. But by faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Okay, because Moses could have been sitting lovely being called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He could just continue to act like he was an Egyptian. Okay. Hebrews 11 and 25, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God, which are the Israelites. They were in captivity in Egypt. He chose rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. Okay. Um, I mean, it kind of keeps going, but that's pretty much the point, choosing to suffer. And that's the same mindset that Daniel had, man. He's like, you can keep your rewards. I'm not trying to get comfortable in captivity, in exile, while the rest of my people are suffering. No, I'm gonna suffer with the rest of my people, and I'm gonna be exalted with the rest of my people. That's the mindset, man. That's the mindset. You don't want to be, getting comfortable in your captivity. Daniel 5:18. O thou king, the most high God gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom in majesty and glory and honor. Now he's about to get into the history. And for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him, whom he would he slew, and whom he would he kept alive, and whom he would he set up, and whom he would he put down. So he's reminding him, you know, your father was given this power to do all these things from the Most High God. Okay, to put people down, to slay and to keep people alive. Ultimately, it was because the Lord was using him to bring judgment upon these other nations. Okay, just like he's doing with Esau, Edom. Daniel 5:20. But when his heart was lifted up and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. So his glory is his kingdom. Okay, that was taken away from him because his mind was hardened in pride. And there's nobody more proud than Esau and Amalek. Okay, they think they can just do whatever the hell they want without any consequences, and not only that, put it on the news so the whole world can see it. That's pride, man. They're not even hiding their wickedness anymore. They're just out in the open, slaughtering, killing, rape, robbing, murdering, and they're putting it on the internet for you to see it blatantly. And a lot of you ain't got nothing to say about it. Okay, and he's reminding Belshazzar, you know, because when he knows about Nebuchadnezzar, you read Daniel the 4th chapter, the Lord brought him down to a beast and then gave him back his kingdom. Okay, but the opposite is going to happen to Esau. He's going back to a beast and then he's going to be destroyed. Daniel 5:21. And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beast, and his dwelling was with the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High God ruleth in the kingdom of men, and that he appointeth over it whomsoever he will. So the Lord sets up men in power and puts them in position to do whatever his will is. Okay, so he's reminding Belshazzar of the Most High God, Yahweh. It has nothing to do with his gods that he believes in. There's only one God that's doing this, and this is Yahweh. Daniel 5:22. And thou, his son, O Belshazzar, hast now humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this. Yeah, you knew what happened to Nebuchadnezzar, what the Most High did to him, you know. But you didn't learn from that. Just like Esau, Edom, man. He sees that these other kingdoms, that they fell. He understands that, and so instead of learning from the mistakes of all these other kingdoms, he quadrupled down, man. He incorporated all the wickedness of all these different kingdoms and incorporated it here in Babylon, America. Okay, all his tactics, and you start to see it. 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, it tells you how the Assyrians took the people out of the land and then replaced them with heathen nations. Okay, well, guess what? The same thing happened with what they're doing now with gentrification and things like that. Okay. Oh, my title's all messed up. It's a lot. I can't even change it. I'll change it after, you know. So Salakia, that's what he did, man. So lucky, I just lost my train of thought. So Belshazzar knew everything that Nebuchadnezzar did, and he ain't humble himself. He chose, just like Esau, man. He's not making, he's doubling down on wickedness and not learning from the past um, uh, rulers those mistakes. And that's going to cost him the greatest mistake, just like it cost Belshazzar. Okay. But the thing about Israel is we're going to, because we're the ones being afflicted through all of these kingdoms, we're going to know, we're seeing it firsthand why we shouldn't be following after wickedness, why it's important to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, because you're going to have an end. Okay. Let me grab this in the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. So this applies to the northern kingdom of Israel, but it applies to Babylon. Okay, this sinful kingdom is the greatest sinful kingdom there's ever been, this world has ever seen. And he's going to literally destroy it from off the face of the earth. And it's never going to be inhabited ever again. Okay. Daniel 5:23. But hast thou lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee? Yeah, because Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon took all the vessels of gold and silver out of the house of the Lord, out of the temple. And Belshazzar's drinking out of them and giving glory to some false god. And thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them. Like, how proud do you got to be, man? You must not have any understanding. You must not know that there's the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. You must not have learned from Nebuchadnezzar. Okay? That's pride. And thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know. Yeah, they don't know anything. You praying to false gods, idols. Okay? Like a damn fool. Psalms 14:1. Okay? And the God in whose hand thy breath is. Yeah, your breath is and your life is in the hand of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Okay? He tells you in Psalm 68 that the issues of death belongeth to the Lord. And you drinking, being proud, are you crazy? Psalm 68 in verse 20. He that is our God is the God of salvation. And unto Yahweh, the Lord, belongs the issues from death. So your father Nebuchadnezzar learned that, and you don't. And Daniel 5:23 at the end. And the God in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified? Yeah, and whose are all thy ways? Okay? He controls you. Okay? Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So ultimately, he didn't want you to be ruling anymore. It was time for you to go. That's why he was causing you to be proud. Okay? Let me grab this. Pride before destruction. Proverbs 16:18. Of course, they don't give it to me in the KJV. Let's just grab it. Proverbs 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Okay? Let's go into that word, haughty. So he was proud, and he didn't know he was about to fall. Just want to get this. And a haughty spirit. Exaltation, height, grandeur. Ooh, let me see. Grandeur, splendor, and impressiveness, especially of appearance or style, high rank or social importance. Okay, let's find the regular word for haughtiness. The appearance or quality of being arrogantly superior and disdainful. Your ego, self-important, hubris, your conceit, your pride, your arrogance. Okay? Yeah, you just you're haughty, man. Disdainfully proud. Okay? Um, and that's why you're gonna fall. Daniel 5 and 24. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written, mene, mene, tekel, parson. This is the interpretation of the thing, mene. The Most High have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Okay? Yeah, you've been numbered, man. Your time is up. Okay? Just like Esau, man. You know, he had a certain measurement of wickedness that he has to fulfill until it's finished. That when that measurement gets filled, hey, the Lord's gonna bring the judgment. Daniel 5 and 27, Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and are found wanting. Okay, just like um, you put something on a scale and you measuring something, man. Proverbs 11 and 1, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. So you're found wanting, meaning you're a false balance. Okay? Imagine you go buy something from somebody and they give you the wrong measurement. You gonna be happy about that? No. Okay? That are weighed in the balances and are found wanting. Yeah, you're not what I'm looking for, man. It's like, you're trying to play me or something, man. Okay? You in the balances, what have you been doing for the children of Israel? Have you been waking up the elect? Have you been doing with all these things? You said you established the Catholic Church on, it's what's that, Peter? You claim that the Lord, that you're the Catholic Church that the Lord establishes rock on, but you're not establishing any of the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? So you're found wanting. Let me see if I remember this precept, Psalms 58. And nope, it's not 50 yet. Maybe it's 50. Psalms 50. Hateth instruction, something like that. Hateth instruction. Let me grab it over here. You hate instruction and you cast his words behind thee, something like that. It is 50, Psalm 50. '17. I started 6. Actually, let's start at 15. And call upon me in the day of trouble, I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. But unto the wicked God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Yeah, what do you have to do with that, man? You have nothing to do with that. You're not Israel. Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee when thou sawest a thief. Yeah, since you hate instruction and you cast his words behind thee. Okay, so you're gonna be judged according to the scriptures. Okay, you have the book. You know that you have the understanding. Okay, but you're not doing anything with the word. You got the land. You got the power. You have everything you need to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and you're failing utterly. He gave you the whole world to us and all the power and resources to establish the law. Even even let you do it by the sword. Force people into serving the Lord. What did you do? You made them. You did the opposite. You made them serve you. When thou sawest a thief, thou contentest with him, and hast been partakers with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. So that's what you do with Jake. You rather slander him than teach the word. Hold on, so like am I getting I want to make sure I'm getting quality. Okay. Daniel 5 in verse 28. Paris, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Okay. The Russians and the Iranians, you're not gonna win against them. And right now, Russia's in the midst. That's what's being talked about. But Iran too, they're talking about these thermonuclear missiles. But you're gonna lose there, just like you lost before. Second Maccabees 9:1, and about that time came Antiochus with dishonor out of the country of Persia, for he had entered the city called Persepolis, and went about to rob the temple and to hold the city, whereupon the multitude running to defend themselves with their weapons put them to flight, and so it happened, Antiochus being put to flight, of the inhabitants returned with shame. So the same thing's gonna happen to you. Okay? Thy kingdom is divided. Okay? It's the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against against himself, and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. Okay, so you have an end, Esau. Okay, Psalms 104:9. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. So you have a bound that you cannot pass over. Okay, and that's how the Lord does it. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So your days are numbered, Esau. Okay? Your days are numbered. Psalms 37:1. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Okay? So they're out of here. Psalms 37 in verse 8. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. So that's not for the wicked. This is what happens to the wicked. They get divided. Their kingdom comes to an end. It's not to prosper. The wicked don't prosper, man. Daniel 5 and 29, they commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold on his neck and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. So this is what he got for interpreting the dream. And the night was in that night, the same night that he interpreted, was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain, meaning he got put to death. And Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. So this is how Babylon was taken over by the Medes. Okay. It didn't burn with fire. Okay. And that's what's going to happen with this place. Then triumphs in Romania's pivotal presidential election. Netanyahu vows full Gaza control amid protests and crisis. Walmart warns of price hikes and amid tariff controversy. Okay. But this is the main thing right here. Trump unveils Golden Dome. Okay, Trump announces Golden Dome, a cutting-edge missile defense shield promising near perfect protection by 2028, despite debates over cost and feasibility. Okay, so he thinks he's gonna. He didn't finish the wall last time he was here, but now he's telling you he's gonna finish an Iron Dome. Okay, we'll see. We'll see, but it doesn't matter if he does it or not, because we understand that according to prophecy, he not gonna save Babylon. In a landmark announcement on May 20th, 2025. Let me find the get him to
one big beautiful bill will include 25
hold on.
country. In the campaign, I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. And that's what we're doing. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we have officially selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space, including space-based sensors and interceptors.
Space-based sensors and interceptors, and look at this dome, man. Yeah, it's gonna protect. Yep, we'll see. Looks good on pictures. The Golden Dome. What do you think he's doing that for? You don't think that the heat's starting to go up, man? He was just talking peace. Now he's talking missile defense systems.
And Canada has called us and they want to be a part of it. So we'll be talking to them. They want to have protection also. So as usual, we help Canada do the best we can. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term. So we'll have it done in about 3 years. Once fully constructed.
And you would think you would have been had a system like this. So this country has always just been open. Okay? As a matter of fact, let me grab that. Because the scriptures call it the land of unwalled villages. I think that's Ezekiel the 28th chapter. Oh, there's one in Esther. Ezekiel 38 and 11. And thou shalt say, actually, let's go into that. Ezekiel 38 in verse. I'll start at 8. After many days thou shalt be visited in the latter years. Thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword and is gathered out many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. So this is talking about the Prince of Rosh, okay? that he's going to have an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. And this is talking about America and Israel. Okay. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. So that's talking about both America and this unwalled villages, man. And we started to see that not too long ago with the amount of people who were coming over the border. It seemed like it was so easy to get over here. Um, well, the same thing's going to happen with these missiles. Okay, let me just finish this up.
The Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space.
Okay, so it sounds like it's going to do a lot. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise up and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. This is talking about this north country is talking about in context, it's talking about Babylon coming up against uh, Jerusalem, but it's twofold because Russia is coming up against America, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So talking about these thermonuclear missiles, man, none shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. So Chaldea is talking about America. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of my heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. Yeah, so you got the fatness of the earth, okay, and you're fat. You're comfortable. You have everything. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Yeah, the mother that bare you, which was Britain, they already ashamed of you. Because the wrath of the Lord it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. So it'd be in your best interest to create a golden dome, but it's not going to do anything. Shoot against her round about. She have given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she have done. Do unto her. Okay? Do unto her, man. And she's done a lot. 200,000. Let me grab that precept. 200,000. I think it's Revelation 9. Yep. Let's grab that. Revelation 9 and 16. So he got a lot of missiles coming this way, man. Revelation 9. The sixth trumpet army from the east. Let me start at 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before Yahweh, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And we saw that the great river Euphrates is dwindling away. That's prophecy. Revelation 9 and 15. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. Okay, the third part of men is talking about the wicked. Okay, you got the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked. Okay, and that's what it's for. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. Okay, so that's talking about those missiles. 200,000, which equates to 200 million warheads, man. Okay, or that's a lot of missiles coming this way, man. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, talking about those missiles, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. And I think they got a beautiful depiction of this. Revelation 9:17 images. Um, or I guess it's not online. I saw it in a video, and it shows. Hold on. I didn't. I thought I just put Revelation 9:17. Revelation 9:17. Okay, now images. Maybe I didn't. There was one with or a head like a lion, something like that. Missile. I saw it in a video, but I wanted to see if I could. No, they don't show it because the missile kind of looks like from the front of it. It looks like a lion, man. And he explained it perfectly, but I can't. There's no images. I think I saw it in like a Great Millstone, a video or something like that. By these three was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths, for their power is in their mouth. And that's talking about the warheads, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Okay, so he's explaining these thermonuclear missiles, that the destruction that they cause, man, he's telling they're painful, man. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. So they're not gonna repent, man. Even with the destruction, neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Okay, but it don't matter because you're going into slavery after this. Okay. Um, so good luck.
And we will have the best system ever built. As you know, we helped Israel with theirs, and it was very successful. And now
It was very successful, but there was missiles that still got through there. Okay.
we have technology that's even far advanced from that, but including hypersonic missiles, ballistic missiles, and advanced cruise missiles. All of them will be knocked out of the air.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that matches up with prophecy, because Joel tells you that that's bullshit. Joel chapter 2, verse 1: Blow ye the trumpet in Zion. Zion is to Zion in the Hebrew, and it's talking about a monument. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's see what it says in the blue letter. Okay. And it's talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. A parched place, another name for Jerusalem, especially in the prophetic books. Another name for Jerusalem, man. A sunny mountain, a fortress. Okay. Never, 2 Samuel 5:7. Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion. The same is the city of David. Okay. It's another way. It's a memorial of the Heavenly Father, and it's talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. When people see you, they should be thinking about the Most High, but you've been degenerated. Okay. You're that degenerate plant that Jeremiah was talking about. Jeremiah 2, verse 21, I believe. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, holy, a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? Yeah, how'd you turn from you know, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, you know, all of the prophets of old and the people of old, how'd you fall to the state that you're in today? Okay, because you forsook the Lord. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, that's what we're doing, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. So we're warning you about the things to come. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is not at hand. And it tells you this is a terrible vision. Habakkuk said, I heard thy voice and was afraid. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So this is talking about those thermonuclear missiles, a great people and a strong. It's not talking about regular people. Okay. And neither, it says, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So there's nothing gonna be like that. Okay. What's that? Isaiah 50, 54. Let me grab that. Because he was talking about thermonuclear missiles and all that. Isaiah 54 and 16. You think his missile defense system can prevent everything? But Isaiah said, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Talking about Yahweh. And I have created the waster to destroy. Okay, he created the waster to destroy. He didn't create um the smith that's gonna be defeated. No, the waste is gonna destroy. He's gonna be successful in this his destruction. Joel 2 and 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. Yeah, so you see, everything looks beautiful. Babylon is beautiful. There's parts of America that are gorgeous. That's now, but after the missiles hit them, what do you think they're gonna look like? Okay. It says Joel 2 and 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Okay, they're fast, they're powerful. Okay, Joel 2 and 5, like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains, shall they leap like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. So just like a people, just like those immigrants that were coming over the border, that's what the Lord's liking these missiles like. You see how he built a wall to prevent people from coming in and out the borders, and he's trying to build a dome to prevent missiles from coming in and out the border. This is what it's saying. It's like an unwalled village because it's not going to stop these missiles. Before their face, the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. Yeah, because they know they're about to be destroyed. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. They're not going to intercept each other. They're not going to destroy each other. They're going to successfully get over here. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, or not break their ranks. So um, they're not gonna break their ranks. Let me see if I can go into that word. Their ranks, their path. Yeah, they're not gonna stop them. They travel away for. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so they're not gonna break their ranks, man. Let me see if I got anything on that. Nope, they're gonna break their ranks. They're not gonna intercept one another. They're gonna work. Okay. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, which is that iron dome, they shall not be wounded, meaning they're not going to be destroyed. So, Duck's plans are frivolous. Okay, they're frivolous, man. Let's finish this article.
We will truly be completing the job that President Reagan started 40 years ago, forever ending the missile threat to the American homeland, and the success rate is very close to 100%, which is incredible when you think of it. You're shooting bullets out of the air. I'm also pleased to report that the one big beautiful bill will include $25 billion for the Golden Dome to help construction get underway. That's the initial sort of a down deposit. And we have probably, you're talking about, General, we're talking about $175 billion total cost of this when it's completed.
So how are you're in debt, $36 trillion, and you just spent $400 million on an AI infrastructure bill. Now you want to spend $175 billion on a Iron Dome. It doesn't sound like you're making America great again. You're just gonna put them further and further into debt. Okay, so that don't sound good, man.
This afternoon, I'm also announcing that I will appoint, very importantly, General Gutlein to lead the ambitious new effort.
Yeah, it don't sound good, man. It don't sound good for Babylon. Okay, end it over here. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that have made the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, you drunk, man. And people still think this place is gonna survive, and it's not. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. Yeah, this is all balm trying to save Babylon, man. All the way from the different investments and tariffs and all this. It's all you know, quantitative easing. Is nothing's gonna help this place. Okay, there's no healing Babylon. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. They would have been healed by now. It's 2025. Forsake her and let us go, everyone, into his own country. Yeah, reverse immigration. Okay, a lot of it's being forced right now. So he even said not too long ago he was voluntarily um, bringing people, telling people to go back to their country. That he'll pay for the plane and all that, so you ain't got to go to jail and all of that. Okay. As a matter of fact, there was a new situation where he's sending people to South Sudan. So here it is, he's sending you to other countries, and then from there he's sending you to another country. And who knows? Now, pretty much you disappearing. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven. That's that balance, and is lifted up even to the skies. That's these sins. That's the measurement. False balance is an abomination to the Lord. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, which are those Russians, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Okay? There's a lot more, but I'm gonna end it right there. Lord's will that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak, Wadash. Shalom.